Yes, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katcher, and yet on the bandwagon yet again of movie premiere for Avatar: Fire and Ash. Which going in, I thought would be funny if it was called Avatar: Fire and Ass. It was it was actually a drag queen show where James Cameron attended at an Indian casino, and and got with one of the drag queens who was named Pocahontas, of course. But no, that's a meaning, or a Thundercat, or she was called Chitara, or G.I. Jane, that too, or yeah, Ripley, or something. Yeah. Yeah, Stone Gremlins did a review of this movie hours ago, and I did watch some of their review. And upon seeing only some of their review, immediately rushed out to see this because clearly the nostalgia critic and his friend did not like it. So I thought it would be funny if I went to see whether I would like it or not like it. Make fun of it. Yeah. They had a preview for Supergirl and Hail Mary and and a Steven Spielberg movie, kind of like Close Encounters. But it's not Close Encounters, it's called something else. Disclosure Day. Yeah. I remembered it. Yeah, so let's get on with the previews. Don't matter. Let's get on with the movie. Supergirl was a fun preview. They were all kind of fun. Yeah, there was. Let's go on to the movie. This is opening day. Even before the mall was necessarily open, so there's a few of us in there. Some other YouTuber people doing stuff. This is almost a private screening, and I got to see some other. There were like 5 of us in there. In the non-3D showing, there were 5 of us. Yeah, this movie's going to make so much money. I didn't really suspect the second one really did either. I think Cameron just like puts the money back somehow, and and then he's I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of like that in Naja movie where they. $10 billion. The only way that works is they've made 2 billion people watch it 10 times. But no, it's not like that. It's not like Ninja. Well, it is a little bit. Parts of it are. Well, I'll try not to so much. I think this movie is on many levels a psychological examination and an embarrassment of the Cameron family legacy. Because you can kind of tell that's what he wanted to do with these movies. And I don't know for sure, I'm just guessing, allegedly, that all the female antagonist bad guys, especially in this movie, are clearly meant to be manifestations and avatars for his ex-wives. They clearly are supposed to be something like that. Including one of them drugging the bad guy who shows up and then befriending him. Clearly, he's a fan of Braveheart. He's a fan of... definitely a fan of Braveheart. He's a fan of Kevin Costner movies. He's also a fan of the of Dances with Wolves. Very much so in this movie. Yes. In addition to him already being a fan of Thundercats, Captain Planet, G.I. Joe, Robotech, and Battletech. And peppered in there a little bit of Thundercats and... the Fire and Ash alien is basically a female version of Moon-Ra, although she looks like Evil Lyn from He-Man. So there's like He-Man in there. You have your... It's kind of everything. The Channel Awesome people were a little harsh. He goes, it's like it's written by a 5-year-old. No, I would say a 16 or 17-year-old. Slightly older than 5. A current one. Because, I'm going to give spoilers for this review. Right away, they... jump into it with how young people talk now. The problem with that is, is that they're supposed to be 200 years in the future. They're not going to be saying bruh. They aren't. No. It would be like us quoting from something in the 1800s. Like, oh, yea, thy verily, ma. We wouldn't talk like that. Thou hast come betwixt my netters, in the Wuthering Heights territory. We don't talk like that anymore. Yes. His fantasy love letter to his fantasy love letter to the Pocahontas, the Disney Pocahontas, mind you, the incorrect one. That's the one he's going on. The tree mother and all that stuff, which he also kind of stole from the mother tree thing, planet thing is Japanese. So he's got that from Japanese and Miyazaki a lot, album covers a lot. Audience members were saying, "Oh, that looks like an album cover. Oh, so does that. So does that. Oh, that looks like Robotech." I will give it props for having unintentionally hilarious homoerotic tension between the two brothers from the other tribes and the brothers in arms. And of course the main bad guy who for some reason survived. I guess the one guy saved him. His stepson saved him. Space son saved him. Why? I don't know. The audience was like, okay, why is he back? I forgot he was back. Yeah. This is not a plug for some kind of brand. It's not. Anyway, so so we have Fire and Ash. I didn't realize how accurate my spoof before I went into the movie was. The bras. Go to see their bra who died in the last movie. In the afterlife, dude, tubular, dude. Just in the afterlife, dude. It's like, really movie, really. Yeah, really. I wouldn't have written that at 16. Yeah. Maybe a little later. Maybe like 30. Or written that. And the liability is their one of the characters, Spider. I forget half of the names. Even after seeing it only a few hours ago. Spider is the guy with the mask. The mask is running out. Now clearly Mr. Cameron saw my review of the water one, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that wouldn't make sense. He'd be a liability if his mask keeps." So that's a thread to the story. The mask battery goes out. They get another one. Their battery goes out and get another one. Is the battery producing the oxygen though, or is the battery just converting it? Is it like an air converter? You think that? Yeah. I have so many questions. I'm sure Cameron thought them out scientifically in some way. He was very scientific, even with the Abyss back in the day. Except for that ridiculous stuff they made up that went into your lungs and you could breathe it. That's not what that was, but in the movie it was magic. So at some point they either have to kill off Spider or almost kill him off. And I figured that since he's the guy narrating it, they're not going to kill him off. Early on, they kind of tip their hat and say, "Oh, narrating it." It's like, how is okay. The bad guy's back. There's plot holes in this thing, big enough to fly one of those mothership flyy things through. So at one point in the movie, they capture a Spider and they take him to the lab. The bad guy's there, and I'm not sure if I'm getting this in all the order. It was 3 hours long, and then the bad guy's there, but I guess he's a hologram of the bad guy, so he's not actually in the room. He's telling the lab people, "Oh, find a way for us to breathe using the kid receives the magical lung paste, mycelium lung paste from Star Trek Discovery. They stole that from Star Trek. And he has that now, and so he can breathe because they wanted to take that detriment out of there, and then still have him be like a sacrifice, a la Isaac, and sacrifice his brother." Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac. That was it. They're going to do that. So it's like, okay, well, I get what they're doing there, but I was like, yeah, it's a biblical allegory. Unfortunately, it hits you over the head, and you just know he's not going to actually do it. But the bad guys have the kid, and they did liability. Even though the Earth Mother heals him, the Planet Mother, they ripped that off from me. Because the Planet Mother was the name of a spaceship planet thing in in Distant Cousins. That was referenced as a joke and another thing. Yeah, he stole that from me. But I stole it from somewhere else, so I'm okay with that. I stole it from Japanese animation. I did. I say. Yeah. So yeah. And also, there was a Marvel character that could do that. You go to Living Planet and a bunch of other things. So it's not really. It's not really something Cameron thought of. It's firewall computer camera thing. Back in the 80s, 70s, 80s though, they weren't thinking of firewalls and computer programs and mycelial networks, which would be mushrooms. They were thinking mushroom network. They were thinking more like like literally like spores and mushrooms and vines connecting a tree. There's a forever field somewhere on Earth where the field is all one big giant organism. I can see where they're getting some of that from. But yeah, that's kind of here, no, there, all over the place. Yeah, so you have just and they're doing the Isaac thing later on. I'm getting scenes mixed up, but they're kind of in order. So they have to basically solve the story arc, the B story that's Spider. It is his powers, or his newfound ability to breathe, and his mycelian powers. He's got silly Trek-cilian powers. Spelled differently, but that's what they're thinking. Spelled differently. The Cillian Realms is in this. Characters from Cillian Realms are in this, including the evil general lady, who was clearly a nod to Cameron's ex-wife who did the Hurt Locker. Clearly, obviously. And also maybe the Fire Lady. But yes, that's who that is. I mean, allegedly. And the other stuff, of course, is him and his bras, including his enemy, who's probably his wife's new husband. And he and Cameron and the husband get together. And they have homoerotic tension just as much as the brothers do. There's so many jokes that immediately can follow. And they're not supposed to be jokes. Oh, look at our rippling alien muscles and stuff. Oh yeah, let's wrestle over here and try to shoot at each other over there. But are we good or are we not? And oh, dude, we should go over here, and are we not? And, dude, bruh, dude, should we, dude? And the kid saying the shit several times over. It's all trying to be edgy. And Cameron's idea of edgy is apparently shopping at Hot Topic. This is the guy that created Terminator and Terminator 2 and Aliens. And the second Aliens, right? And it works for Roger Corman. This is the guy that actually stole the glass hand and soldier from Harlan Ellison to make the Terminator movies. So, Harlan Ellison, anytime they do a Terminator thing with that hand. And super soldier traveling through time to prevent like the birth of his son. Anything like that is Harlan Ellison originally. Very much so. This movie's no exception. I guess he figured, well, the people that were doing Thundercats and the Disney's Pocahontas, they won't mind. Captain Planet might, though. Why does the bad guy look like Captain Planet? He totally does. They should do a Tom Cruise Marine. With not so much here, but up here and here. But not so much his flat top. The flat top makes him look like the asshole Chet guy from the 80s movie Weird Science. He also have sort of a portly guy. A reminiscent of one of the trailers, which was about another guy. They're remaking Anaconda with Jack Black playing the guy that directed Anaconda. Kind of looks like him, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, there's but it's probably stupid because you can't remake. Yeah. Anyway, they're gonna try. There was a giant poster out there for one of the what was it? Silent Night, Deadly Night again. Because there were so many memes about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 that they've made a movie, another one. Guys, come on. How did you top Garbage Day? I mean, come on. You can't. If you put that in the movie, that's not funny anymore. It's like you've made it mainstream. Like Five Nights at Freddy's is now mainstream. That started out as Chuck E. Cheese and stuff. Way before you guys mainstream. Way before. And Teddy Ruxpin. Ted is Teddy Ruxpin. Nothing new under the sun. So here we have a movie. Back to this one. Avatar. The brothers act like they want to make out with each other. Even when they're upset with each other. And they run around and they're like, and the sisters kind of do too. And it's distracting and funny. And it's not supposed to be. The Marine bad guys are so over the top. You're wondering if Cameron just has stick up his in the mud about the army in general. It just doesn't like the armed forces and thinks they're all evil and out to destroy stuff. And the audience did not like the Australian whale killer guy, who was really lame and over the top, because as one of them pointed out, the croc hunter would never do that. Yeah, he'd want to go up to the whale and try to kiss it or something. That's not the croc hunter. Didn't even really look like him. Not really, just to try to do an accent. He sounded more British, I would say, than Australian, actually. Now that I think about it, he's more like a Brit. It would have been funnier if he wasn't a chunky guy, though. It would have been funnier if he was like a dapper, sort of looking a little more like the other guy. Just because it would be funnier. But I don't think they were going for funny. I think they were going for, this is one of Cameron's other friends. Or possibly an enemy he didn't like. Make fun of him. You can probably, yeah. There's a psychological weirdness going on. Your A story is that one of the sons feels guilty for the death of the brother and the psychological trauma associated with such. And with the Sully dad, I think Sully is the guy's name, the dad. He's a dick. The dad is a total douchewaffle. The hero of this story is an incredible douchewaffle. And it's like he's basically gaslighting his entire family and running around back and forth going like, as that blue alien going like, like, he doesn't like his kid, he won't amount to much or anything, he's not good enough, he has to stay here and follow me, and it's a way of toughening you up, kid, or something, or not, and he almost drives the kid character to suicide in the middle of the movie. And it's like, wow, okay, gaslighting bastard. Somebody should throw you off a rock into space. Let the aliens eat you. Suck. Like, it gaslights his wife too, and there's a priest lady who's apparently pregnant. He gaslights her. The other priest guys, and there's like these elders that pop up out of shallow water somehow. These big whale things. You talk to them. You can tell the chief in the water thing is like basically making it up. They aren't actually talking to him. The kids show up, and the movie does a 180 with that. It makes it sound like the kids, being rebellious, managed to fix the story by talking to the elders themselves, using the connection to the Planet Mother thing. And the Planet Mother, which I even thought was stupid and took out of that early story. Cameron apparently liked that and decided to use it. Must have read that somewhere. He must have. There was another version of that. He read that. He didn't read mine. That's impossible. He didn't read mine. Unless he's aware of my channel. Well, if he was, then I want more ratings. But yeah. So yeah, he's gaslighting the kid almost to the point of insanity to drive him nuts, and then only later on to say, okay, you're going to be my point man. I'm going to train you. Like during this battle with the bad guys are going to capture the whale pod essentially and kill them all, and the daughter's got to go down. She has seizures when she connects with the Planet Mother, and she says, and she goes down there. The kids go down to help her so they can fight in the war, and the Planet Mother turns and decides to help them. And I know it's probably Great Mother or something. Planet Mother is funnier. But yes, I know that's not what it's called. It's Great Mother, but Planet Mother is funnier. So yes, I wonder why and they all go down to help, and all the kids are actually valuable again. It's like, Cameron, what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to say that you weren't really there for your children, and therefore, because it's kind of obvious, and one of them tried to take himself out, control alt delete himself, and they feel guilty about that, and and maybe the other two were one One was like disabled, maybe autistic, and another one was different that autistic too. Or something, and then there's probably one in a wheelchair that would be the silly character. Are you like not being subtle at all here? And half of these characters are actually your family members in the story, because I think they might be. And Sigourney Weaver represents the sort of archetypal hero character that isn't the mother of your kids, but it's like just a metaphor. Oh, this is the ultimate ideal person that I liked back in the '80s when she was like, a star there. Put her in my movie. Is that what you're doing? Because I think that is what you're doing. Also, you don't seem to like industrial complex, and you don't seem to like the military or America in general, or colonizers in general, in any form. However, the industrial complex that went into making this movie is an interesting ironic twist. All of the cast and crew of these movies, clearly employing people of different ethnicities, but mainly the white ones are getting all the money, I think. So there you go. You're white, you get the money. So that's kind of a, yes, I'm going to make a movie about where we make fun of the white man for being mean to the other people, indigenous cultures, but we're the white people that took over doing a movie. Yeah, it's kind of a hypocrite. It's like, yeah. Wasn't me. It was I'm saying that's what they're doing. I don't do things like that. I don't do Clear Mary Sue's for their love affair, their love interest of Pocahontas and crew. That they go native, and then the bad guy goes native because he's a bad guy. He meets up with the girl, the fire and ash girl, who gives him some roofies, and he gets high, basically, because that's how that works. Women will get you high on roofies, and then you'll join them. Indicating that the other lady got Sully high in the first movie. With the Space Mother roofies. But the other lady's using technology. She's, sort of, with fire roofies. Whereas the other one was the Planet Mother. But yes, bruh, dude, shit. I don't remember how many times they said bruh, dude, shit in this movie. Could probably, if you had booze and you were drinking it, and they said drink, you'd be very drunk at the end. This is a soda or something. Soda. Oh man. Can't say that it sucked altogether. It didn't entirely suck. But it was like they just took the second one and kind of redid it with fire people joining him. Why? The reasons the bad guys join the other people kind of don't make sense. And there's a couple of plot holes with the kid getting his powers. And then they immediately... He's got his powers. They've got him in the base. And he escapes... No, he escapes twice. He escaped once in the one base. They let him go, and the other guy didn't immediately come down on him and trap him. He escapes the one base. And then they have to go and find him again, like an hour later, and take him to the city where they've captured. They eventually capture Sully. They're going to execute him. But of course, being bad guys, they take their sweet time doing this build up to the execution, long enough for the biologist guy to steal a giant Robotech loader thing and crash through the base without them killing him. They try to shoot at him later, and meanwhile, the kid has escaped because the Marine bad guy is dumb enough to leave a metal object that he can use to pick a lock with. Oh, what? Why? Then go through an air duct, and he escaped once before. He's going to escape again. The other character's escaping once before and then again. The tension when you build a scene. Let's say, build a scene in a movie. Typically in a movie where you're trying to be dramatic. And yes, it's sci-fi. So let's say in a sci-fi movie like this is a sci-fi fantasy movie. You don't build tension by having an unexplainable escape happen where your heroes go, yay, you escape, but not show it. If the stakes aren't that high, if it was that easy to get out, then they shouldn't be surprised that you got out. Yeah, that kind of thing. And the mother's got to train. She gets injured. She's got to fix the bow and her arm, I guess. And there's all this other stuff, backstory with that. He's gaslighting. Sully's gaslighting the mother too. Sandaro's character, because he's a dick. He's a total douchewobble. Yeah, the good guy is an asshole. He says, "You're an asshole," and it's like, so is the bad guy, and they're on equal terms a couple of times. They meet up a couple of times, and the evil Marine guy who's in the Avatar body doesn't just shoot him, which would really happen. That's what would be in real life. You just go, "Oh, I have you where I want you." Yeah, bang. Yeah. Doesn't think to do that. Lets him escape once or twice. Lets the kids get rescued or kidnapped and saved again. Yes, the little girl is kidnapped again during the main attack there. And the girl gets kidnapped again. I think it's a different girl. And also, as they pointed out in the the other review, well, somebody snarkily commented on the other review that they said the wrong kid's name saves the kid from drowning. At the end, I don't care which girl it was. It was just one of them. It was the sea person one. It was the greener looking one. She said because she can swim. Also, I want to know why, if they have, they're Thundercats but they're fish kind of, wouldn't they be able to survive underwater for a long time? He wouldn't drown. Yeah, you just come back up. Yeah, they're fish people. Fish, cat, mermaid, cat people. Yeah, just come back up. Because they're underwater for the longest time and nothing happens. At times they're just underwater, just floating around. That also begs a question, which was repeatedly thought during the production by the cast member, people watching it. If they had the technology to make avatars of people that were genetically identical to the point of reproducing with the life forms there and making all that happen medically, and they had these vast machines and things on the planet and technology that had like light years ahead of now, and they had the giant mechs and things like that, giant ships and floating, and enough fuel to fuel them all somehow, and unobtainium or whatever, which they haven't mentioned since the first one, and that stupid brain source glowy stuff they stole from several Japanese anime as well, including Ghost in the Shell. To have that, why is the Earth devastated? Why not take all that technology and those avatars and all that stuff and the mycelians and the planet mother and all that stuff and reboot the Earth? Just fix the Earth. They could. They have the technology. They just don't want to. It's like, yeah, it's like, why couldn't they just, that's, you obviously have superior medical technology, or you can do basically anything somehow. And the mycelium, which means mushrooms. Mycelium network means mushroom, not psyllium, but mycelium. Like spore stuff. Yeah. How does that work? And if they know how it works enough to make other avatars, then they should be able to use that technology to restore the ecosystem. Don't. Because they're stupid. Apparently they're just incompetently dumb. And it's Cameron yelling at all the people that he didn't like, that didn't understand his vision. Because originally the story was written when he was 16, so that explains the whole thing right there. Well, he was watching Thundercats on the TV, and like, I'll rip this off. How old is James Cameron? I think he's older than me, so no, he would have been in his 20s. It just writes like he was 16. He would have been in his 20s. I would have been 16. I was 16 when Thundercats was. But yeah, I don't know him. I don't know James Cameron, obviously. I don't know his I know a little bit of his backstory because of the internet has it, and that his bitter divorce a while back led to his ex-wife making an Oscar-winning movie, and he was really upset about that. Around 2009, the first Avatar movie didn't get the Oscar, and hers did, and it was his ex-wife. Yeah, Hurt Locker, I believe, was the name of the movie. And it maybe was it the Hurt Locker or was it Zero Dark 30? It might have been Zero Dark 30. That same kind of movie. That Zero Dark 30. It might have been both. I think it was. I think it was Zero Dark 30. Which I think was a little later. So yeah, it was one of those. And so you have yeah, and clearly he has children and stepchildren from other wives and everything. And this is his way of doing a movie with, I guess, his grandkids doing the dialogue. You gotta put bro in there a bunch of times, dude. It was really, really distracting. It's like no. I would not have been surprised if I won't be surprised if in Avatar 4 one of them goes 6'7", dude. It'll probably happen. By then it's mainstream. If they're putting it on shirts and knickknacks in the mall at Oak Ridge and at Great Mall here or there, if they're doing that already. It's not. The brain rot meme is kind of dead. So this is my roundabout review of Avatar: Fire and Ash, which actually is not ripping off the fire team from The Last Airbender, the cartoon. Not so much, although the bad guy dresses up like the Fire Lord toward the end, so he looks like him. And the Fire Lord lady is the Fire Lord lady. That's true, she is. But they don't act like them exactly. They have the fire powers. Firepower, guns. Also, the kid that wanted to control, to lead himself in the story, well, that gun wasn't loaded, so he doesn't know where about it. Yeah, he said there was no ammo in it. And you can't just put one bullet in the magazine of an AR-15 and make it. I mean, you could, but it's got a magazine. Put the magazine. Put the bullets in the magazine. Put the gun. Well, this is a space AR-15. Maybe it does that. But you don't have only one round, though. It's a machine gun. It's a machine gun, so one round. Oh, it's gone. Oh. It was interesting that during the credits, what was it? John Reiner? Not Rob Reiner. Not the guy that currently died. It was another guy. It was a guy that was one of the producer guys. John Reinhold. Something like that. From Alien and Aliens and Terminator. He passed away, so he was listed in the credits. This is a different guy. It's not Rob Reiner. It's this other Reiner sounding guy. It's a different guy. John Reiner. Different guy. But he was involved in the other stuff. Also in the credits it said that for some reason, right in the middle of the credits, there's a thing about, if you're there's a warning about like suicide in here, and saying like, there's help out there or something. Why did they feel like in the middle of the credits they needed to say that? Did the target audience, the test audience of this go like, wait a minute? Yeah. I want to explain why the father guy's such a douche, and why he wants to cack the kid all the son Isaac thing, and obviously he's not going to. There would have been a simpler solution to that. They don't. That they just not do that. Just make him hide somewhere. Well, now that he can breathe on the Earth, on the planet, just put him somewhere. You don't need to kill him. And the girl's seizures. Oh, if you go down to the ocean, they said it 2 or 3 times, he'll die. The Earth mother will kill you. Of course, it's not going to kill her. Of course not. And it's uncanny and weird. Sigourney Weaver is playing herself at 16 with a voice slightly modulated, and it sounds weird because she's clearly old now. She's clearly in her early 70s, trying to do a teenage. I couldn't do that. I'm in my 50s. I couldn't do a teenager voice. It wouldn't make any sense. Oh yes, I'm a kid. Yay, dude. Bruh. It would sound weird. It'd sound like the guy from Polar Express, the old guy that was doing one of the kid voices. It would sound. It just doesn't work. Sigourney, you don't need to do all the voices. They can get somebody younger to do that. You don't need to do it. Yes. Yeah, and why were the people in the research station at times pulling for the people in the city who are clearly evil, and then the people in the city weren't just like, oh, arrest those scientist guys, are clearly in on the whole thing. We'll hold them hostage and then wait for the hero to show up to save the scientist guys, and then we'll arrest him. Why didn't they do that? It's just so weirdly. You would think that would make sense. Or they just cut their funding or whatever. but yeah, the homoerotic jokes. There's so many shots of Little Mermaid things flying past the camera with their butts and all doors and all other doors showing. But of course, it's covered up in a loincloth that somehow stays magically stuck to them. There's a whole lot of Rule 34 of this. and of course, there was somebody in that, at one point, the Sully and the bad guy, I forget what the bad guy, father guy, and Spider in the same room. And that just made no sense. A couple of times that happened. I guess. Yeah, I won't give away if the bad guy dies or not. Again, just to go out and see it. I want you to go out and see it because it's kind of so bad it's good. I would say. And like Cats was, it's not as bad as Cats. But Cats was at least funny. This is not trying to be funny. Neither that one wasn't trying to be funny either. This one is clearly trying very, very hard to be an edgy, like mid-90s thing. That's over not its welcome. But yeah, the three guys, the Spider and his father, the Marine guy, and Sully, they're talking things out at points in this, even though he's trying to kill them the next scene. Or the next scene, they're buddies again, or they're sort of like frenemies. They're frenemies on Facebook, and it's like, why? The only thing that makes sense is for some kind of weird kink going on. Somebody, it's that they want to have a threesome. Yes, that's exactly it. All three of them want to have a three-way. That drag queen story, it marks cards as a joke. It's not far from what actually should have happened. Oh no. Oh, Avatar, Fire and Ass. Or actually, Avatar, Fire and Ass is what you get when you have a lot of Indian chicken. And come home, and about 12 hours later, you go, ah! And it comes flaming out of your, launching you with your explosive fart bulbs, explosive fart napalm arrows as well. Yeah, they give the girl like a napalm shooting crossbow thing at one point. The mother did, not the planet mother, the Zoe Saldana character. The father guy in this movie is even more of a dick than in the last movie. In the last movie, he was like the bully kids try to and now they're friends. No, they're not bullies in this one. They try to kill one of the kids, and they're like, oh yeah, you just should have watched him more, so that they didn't try to kill him. It's like, no, you gotta reprimand those bullies who are being assholes, trying to get him killed. No, I don't want to do that. It's like, what? And then this one, it's even worse. In this one, he drives his kid to want to control alt delete himself because he's a dick. That's messed up. He's the worst father ever. It's like, give him to the bad guys. It's like, let the bad guys win here. On him, at least. Let the bad guys firing squad this guy. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Cameron thought he was being edgy, is what it was. He's like, I'm being edgy, or the responsibility of manly men, because I'm clearly writing this from the perspective of a boomer, not a next-gen person who doesn't understand how next-gen people work. I mean, yeah, he's clearly a boomer. He's not a next-gen person. Kid, you just get up by your bootstraps, or don't be my wingman. Bastard. Gaslight you all and following me and then being the best father ever. It's like, no wonder they kept trying to run away. Go do their own thing. They're like, oh my God, this guy's a dick. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to talk to the alien. They at one point, one of the whale creatures is harpooned in the eyes. It's fucked up. I won't give away what becomes of the character or the bad guy, Aussie guy. Yeah, I won't give away the rest of it. But yeah, they have that avatar power, the Planet Mother. Yeah, he wanted to. He has a thing for Pocahontas and Thundercats and mermaids. Clearly wants to bang them. And being a multi-billionaire from these movies, Mr. Cameron can't have one built. Have his way with it. Or, like I suggested in the story, the joke there, he can hire somebody to dress like that. It's probably easier. Just pay him. Like, okay, Mr. Cameron, sir, what do I have to do this time? Well, you're going to pretend like you're a Na'vi, and you're going to spank me. Yeah, okay, whatever. That'll be an extra 1,000. Okay. Exactly. And she's all, well, you are aware that I'm a dude, right? Like, yeah, I like that. Yeah. I mean, you can tell from those movies that clearly I have a thing for the general guy and the corporal guy. And also the colonel guy. Oh my, yeah, the colonel is the bad guy. The one that looks like pseudo Tom Cruise thing. It's Avatar, the last hairbender. It's nothing like that, really. Yeah, except for what are they going to do next? They got they have air, fire, water, and earth would be the next one. Didn't they kind of already do that? No, they're not doing it right. They're not doing it like that. Why don't they stop after 4 of them? Just don't do 6 of them. Don't bother. In fact, stop right here with this one and say, okay, they lived happily ever after. Maybe. Well, they didn't because their father's still a dick. Yeah. Anyway, so yes. Fire and ass.